Hello. Oh, that was too close. Sorry.
Yeah,
No. Hello. I'm Christine.
I'm Jamie.
And if you're not horned up already, you better get ready.
Yes.
Because there is some spicy spice. Not the ultimate spice compared to other books, but look, spice.
This is a spicy... This was my first, I feel like spicy scene though, really. Like in a book.
Yeah, true. Like the fantasy stuff that we read before were not.
No, not at all.
No, they were, spice light.
Yeah. And now, since we've ventured more.
And now we're unhinged.
Yes,
now
where I'm like, this is nothing.
Yeah. Really?
So PG.
Well.
I'm excited. This just one of those, especially the 2 chapters are literally... People can just say the chapter.
And you know.
Yeah, you know exactly what they're talking about.
Carlos knew exactly what I was talking about when I said chapters 50 to 55 today. He knew what was up.
Yeah. He was like, oh, those are the good ones.
Mm-hmm. And then he humped my leg. Just kidding. He didn't.
It's like, have fun.
If you all haven't seen yet, Sarah J. Maas put out a quiz.
Yes, it was so exciting.
It was very unlike her.
I know.
And obviously it's not her. It's her people handling her stuff because she's just the talent. But look, I'll take it.
Just the talent.
I'll take it though.
Yeah, I was very excited.
And I would like to announce that I got exactly who I wanted, which is shocking.
Yes, because...
Can you believe that?
No. Who did you get?
Lucian. Obviously. I was so scared just by how I was answering the questions. I was like, I'm going to get Reese. And which is fine, but I didn't.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much. We are getting married this summer.
Perfect.
My husband will be my best man.
Oh, that's so sweet of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very
so supportive.
Very supportive.
Yeah. I didn't know who I was going to get when I was answering, but then I did get Reese, and I was very happy with that.
Yeah. No, you can't be mad at that.
No, because I'm more of a Cassian lady, but Reese is very close.
Yeah.
Second for me.
Still a good pick.
Yeah. And then I was like, I'm going to try and get Cassian, but still pick close to stuff
what feels right for you.
Didn't happen.
No, you still got Reese?
I saw Reese and then I got Lucian. But then I saw other people got Elaine.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what someone else did. I was like, oh, but I was happy with Reese. Hopefully that really happens for me.
Well, I hope it all turned out well for you all too.
Yes. And if you have not done it, go do it because it's fun. It reminds me of being younger and taking these quizzes.
Remember those MASH quizzes? Those are accurate.
Right?
I'm going to live in a mansion with my
7 kids.
With my 7 kids with my 5th grade crush.
Yeah.
Perfect. Actually, not perfect. I don't want to be with my 5th grade crush.
No.
I'm okay.
I feel like I would have celebrities on there. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Well, no, I should have done it.
I'm too old for him.
More importantly, today we want to talk about dogs. Unrelated to books, but I don't care.
No.
Because Jamie and I had a conversation a few weeks ago about which celebrities our dogs would be. Who would our dogs be as people if they were celebrities? And we had some really good picks. And I was kind of obsessed with this conversation, so I felt like we should share it.
Yes. I think it's a very fun topic just to have with other people as well. And ours, the final choices are really good.
I'm happy with them.
Yeah.
So my dog, his name is Komodo Dragon. And he is a male Alaskan Malamute. And he reminds me of Colin Farrell.
Yep.
He's beautiful. He's black and white. And he likes to hump a lot. I imagine that he might, have a journey of alcoholism, maybe. Be a little bit wild.
Yeah.
If you let him out, he's running all over town.
Yes. He has a spicy personality.
He's very spicy, but he's very happy and very cuddly, and he loves people, but he might bite you. He might bite you.
He won't bite me, but...
No, but some people.
Yeah. Him and Carlos got into a fight.
They did.
When they were more youthful. So they're not allowed to be around each other anymore, but I know from a distance they still care about each other.
Bad boys.
Yes. And then Carlos, ever since I got him, which Christine actually picked him out and named him.
I did.
Yeah, she came with me to get him, and it was between him and another. His original name was Peter, but that just...
He's not a Peter.
No. He is, I just feel like a gay man.
He is.
Yeah, I don't know, ever since...
A gay, affluent man.
Yes.
He is a socialite. Mm-hmm. He would be, but with anxiety. With
yes,
social
he does
anxiety.
have social anxiety, but also
you
loves
never
people.
know. He would mask it.
Mm-hmm. And he's like cuddly when he wants to, but also doesn't like to cuddle.
He's hot and cold.
He is. Just how I like it, you know?
So I thought he would be Rupert Everett.
Yes.
Are you going with that one?
Yes.
Okay, because a lot of people listening probably don't know who Rupert Everett is, but if you have watched My Best Friend's Wedding, which is a classic, and if you haven't watched it, you need to go watch it immediately with Julia Roberts.
Yes, Dylan McDermott.
Yes. So Rupert plays her best friend,
yes,
who is gay in the movie, but pretends to be her boyfriend to make her
and
best
Carlos
friend jealous.
Would do that for me.
He would. Mm-hmm. And even if you put their pictures side by side, which I did show you, they do actually look alike, which is hilarious. But it would be a young Rupert Everett, because Rupert Everett is kind of, he's much older now and has gray
Carlos.
hair.
Carlos has gray hair now too. They've kind of aged together. Carlos is also a husky German Shepherd. Mm-hmm. He's very handsome. He is all over our Insta and everything, if you want to.
He is. I just forced him to do a video.
Yeah.
And then our other picks, I was talking to Eddie about this today because our other dog, Chemo, she was Alaskan Malamute, half giant, so she was just like a real big girl.
Oh,
but she had like light fur.
Yes.
But we were just talking about who she would be, and I was like, my instinct is Meryl Streep in A Devil Wears Prada. So like her playing Anna Wintour.
Yes.
Because she can be a total bee.
Yep.
But also like
you kind of had to like
you have to get
feel
that
out her mood.
Yeah.
And then even when she wanted to like cuddle with you, like she would cuddle right up to you, but then sometimes still growl at you. But you just she's so big and cuddly.
My other pick for her was Kristen Johnson, which
Eddie
kind of agreed with me with that too, because she was from Third Rock from the Sun.
Yes,
she had a really popular scene from Sex and the City where she falls out the window.
She's very tall.
Yeah, funny but could kill you. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, I think I like that one more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Kong, our parents' dog. I think we were thinking Jon Favreau.
Yes.
I want to throw one out there, though, because actually it was Eddie's idea. He's like, I thought he would be Michael Clark Duncan from The Green Mile.
Yep.
Like a gentle giant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we miss you, Kong and Chemo.
And then Boo.
What did we say for Boo?
I think it was Natasha Lyonne.
Right.
And funny enough, I didn't even say anything to Eddie, and he immediately said Natasha Lyonne. So
it's meant to be.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Yeah. So you guys should probably also share who your dogs and cats, birds, whatever.
Anything. It's
Hamster.
an important conversation. Pet personalities.
Yeah. Christine, because Christine does so much, will share like the photos of ours.
This side by side, and then you could add yours.
Yes. And as always, like us and give us 5 stars. Because I know we deserve 5 stars. So please do.
We think so, which is the most important. Follow us, give us 5 stars. That would be so helpful.
Tell us about your animals.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Just love that. Send us photos.
Yes, I want to see it too. I love seeing I think there's an Instagram account where people like look like their dogs.
Yes.
Yeah. So check that out too. But tell us your drink. This is an important one.
Okay. Yes, it is. So even like discussing it with you, because this is such a big chapter.
It's a big chapter, but it's also a difficult one to go like, what drink would represent?
Yes. What all this stuff happens.
Yeah.
So what I ended up choosing, and it was also because it was nice because it was like a different alcohol.
Yeah, because we're trying to switch it up. We don't want to do all the same type of stuff. Or
so it's called, what is it? Like, I'm obviously not going to call it this, but it's the Demania Valentine cocktail. So it has I hope I'm saying that right, but who cares? I don't know.
It's tea.
Damiana tea and sake. It's an aphrodisiac. So the tea has a bunch of different stuff, but that Damiana or whatever is an aphrodisiac. So if you ever want to make this for your lover, feel free. As always, I did not completely read the instructions till about an hour before I had to make it. And you're supposed to steep the tea in the sake for 8 hours. So that did not happen. And it is also supposed to have just pomegranate juice. Mm-hmm. But I went to get it from the store and the pomegranate juice was $15. And I'm not going to drink.
We're not about it. We are frugal ladies with bills to pay.
Yes. So I was like, oh, there's this pomegranate cherry juice on sale for $3 because it expires this week.
Which is another saga of what happened with the pomegranate margarita. You know, one day we will do a pure pomegranate drink. Not today.
No, not today. So it will be a little different. Not exactly what it's supposed to taste like.
It still sounds really good.
Right? Okay, so I will tell you what the rest of the... So it has... Oh, I also don't think I got dry sake, but there was only 2 choices. Is it sake? Sake, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So dry sake, where the Damania tea, I used Moontime tea, which she also said to use. It's also fertility tea. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Someone's getting pregnant.
Not me.
Me neither.
A small handful of raspberries that you have to like muddle. Then some pomegranate juice. And it says a spritz of rose water. I did not have a spritzer with the rose water, so I poured it.
We got some drops of rose water instead.
Yeah. So...
It was several adaptations.
Yeah. Let's see what this
tastes
tastes
like. Here.
Let's taste our aphrodisiac cocktail.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's a little chunky.
I don't even know. What am I drinking?
I don't know. I feel like the tea has a lot of different spices in it.
Yeah. It's cinnamony.
Not my favorite. I don't even mind because some of the berries got in there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Don't even mind that, but yeah.
Tastes like cinnamony sake with a little bit of raspberry.
Yeah, I don't really taste the raspberry as much as I thought I would.
No. Is it supposed to be sweet?
Yeah, it's not very sweet. I would almost put some simple syrup in.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not puking.
Wow, Barlow.
Yeah, I will finish it, but definitely maybe if it was made correctly.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I might actually just try one day since what else am I going to do with a bottle of sake?
Yeah.
And all that tea that I now have.
And then give us the update.
Yeah, and I will, let you guys know. What a weird taste.
Yeah. Well, the pictures look beautiful.
Okay, guys, the pictures I went all out for. I spent the day painting, so it's all that matters.
Jamie Cursebreaker.
Tilda and Steve are back.
Huh?
Tilda and Steve are back.
Oh, the cereal?
Yeah.
Well, when we left off, they were in that cave, right?
Yes. Got way too excited there.
And we left off with I was gonna say famous line, but it's, when he says, "I was looking for you too."
I mean, he has a lot of famous lines.
So then we move on, and we do. We get to meet the cereal again,
and they're like 1 year anniversary.
Oh,
and it's funny when she talks about like she sets her trap and everything, and how she describes him like so terrifying. But I never, even though he looks terrifying, I'm like, your encounters never sound scary. Like you're like old friends coming together.
He sounds so sweet, but no, if you do read the descriptions though, we're just interpreting him in a certain way. Maybe other people aren't, but he seems great.
Yeah. I
keep saying he, so I did write down.
Oh, I just did glance at that. Yeah.
So the cereal is non-gendered. And I was thinking because I went back and looked, I was like, no, she never uses gender specific language. She does say it. So don't call people it.
No. No.
This is a book. But just, if someone supersedes gender, which is like a fun way to look at it.
Don't say it.
Don't say it, Feyre. The cereal just doesn't live within the constructs.
No.
Of our rigid, narrow-minded society.
Yeah. Cereals live in their own life.
So.
Good for you, Tilda, Steve.
So yeah, this cereal helps her out. I like to say that, and maybe this is where the cereal's reputation comes from, as a little bit like a gossip queen. Because...
Right? Just like I have that mug and it's Cereal Tea and Co.
Yes.
Because the cereal always has the tea.
Yes. So the cereal knows lots of stuff, senses lots of stuff. But when the cereal eventually mentions that Reese is her mate,
Just casually drops it in there.
The serial does kind of pretend like, oh, you didn't know?
Yes, that's also what I had down.
Okay.
Like, wouldn't the serial know that she didn't know?
I was like, did you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You knew.
Yeah.
You dropped this at the end. Right? It's like when like one friend knows something about the other friend. It's kind of like a Real Housewives thing where that you just like you say it in a nice voice. You're having a casual conversation, and then you say something about something else. You're like, oh,
yes.
you didn't hear that?
Oh my god, what?
Oh.
Yeah, just because Finish gave her all the information. And then was like, but if you wish to heal your mates faster, I'm going to just throw that in, even though I don't have to. It's going to give you this little tidbit. And then, yes, so we find out.
The serial says the High Lord of the Night Court is your mate.
Oh my god! I mean...
I feel like we're not that surprised because we've read the book. We're not.
Yeah, but when the first time I read it, I was like, what?
Like, yay!
Yeah.
Because it all makes sense now.
Yeah, and as we go on in these chapters,
It'll make more sense.
Yeah, just all comes together.
But yeah, no, I think I was really happy the first time when I read that because there was this like push and pull and then like things, her journey of like coming away from Tamlin, and you're kind of hoping that this thing would work out.
Yeah, I mean, she's pissed.
She is, yes.
She also does at first, like, how are, because mates are supposed to be matched, and she's kind of like, but how are we matched? And
yeah, how could I possibly be his mate? Mates are equals, matched, at least in some ways.
Yeah.
Which, I think I was in, like, a certain mood when I was reading this, because I just, and you'll see it as time goes on, like, stuff that I've written down, because I was just a little bit annoyed. I'm like, Feyre, girl.
Like, you know you have the power of all the High Lords.
Come on.
Yes.
But yes, you are matched. As you should be.
As it should be. I mean, if not you, Farah.
Then Jamie, because she got his name on the quiz.
Yes. Which pretty much means the same thing.
So Feyre's really pissed and goes back to Rhys and gets...
Oh, also the serial tells her that Rhys already knows.
Yes.
And
so,
did not.
that's why she's mad, right?
Yes. Farah returns. She's mad. Reading Christine's notes.
She tells him to answer her questions, but he's not allowed to ask any, which kind of made me laugh.
I know, I love how she walks in and she's like, eat this plant. Now drink my blood.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut my arm open. You're going to drink all this blood. And now I'm going to ask you questions.
Yeah.
Just be like, what is happening?
Don't talk. And she said, a part of me hated the words for acting like this while he was wounded, but I didn't care. Which, again, made me laugh because it reminds me of those moments that I know that I've had and probably you've had where you're so mad about something or emotional about something and you know that there's also like logic there, but you're just like, I don't care about that right now. I'm focused on my feelings and I'm gonna run with that.
Yeah, that's all that matters in this moment.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And then we kind of get a little bit more information that he has known for
a long time.
Oh yeah. So that moment that we talked about at Court of Throne of Roses when he sort of steps into his shadow and he like stumbles and he has a shock look.
Right after Under the Mountain.
Finally get the answer.
Yay! Which was so nice. I remember reading this and I was like, oh my god. I was like,
thank you. Yes. I have been up at night thinking about this.
I was like, we better come back to this. And that was just not like a weird thing that happened and we never find out.
Yeah.
So that was when the bond snapped into place for him.
Yeah.
And I think it just shocked him, even though he does say then or in a couple of chapters that he did have a feeling, suspected it. I was just so curious. So he said he's known since like Amarantha, kind of just says for at this point. I was like, so they were, when she was human, he was still his mate, which I found interesting.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, so that also says that I have a chance, which is great. But I just found that interesting that...
Yeah.
Because I thought it was just a Fae thing.
Yeah, so what does that mean?
Right?
I don't know if that's ever addressed, is it?
I don't think so.
But he does say later that, or maybe he does clarify here that when she became Fae...
That's when the bond snapped.
That's when the bond snapped, so that made it stronger, but he had that feeling before, so I wonder what would have happened if that never happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
So I am kind of, probably later, I'm going to just look that up.
Google it?
Yeah. Go down a TikTok hole.
She learns that everybody knows, but... Not everybody, but Lauren Amron knew, which I thought, isn't that like the most...
The
not
worst.
the most horrible, but... when that happens, when something's been kept from you and you learn that other people close to you knew and they just never, that's just like a really bad feeling.
Yeah, as I was reading, I just got that like gut feeling and I was just like, oh, that's just
they knew
the worst. And I've just been all these months with them and they were all aware and you just feel like an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. So I was reading this part yesterday and I realized how much I flip-flop.
Yes, I also, because that's what I was going to say, because it says, whose side are you on? And I also wrote that.
Because I think my last time I was reading it, it was like weeks ago when I went through these chapters.
Yeah.
And I was on Reese's side where I was like, of course he would keep that from you. What are you talking about? That makes total sense to me. And then as I was reading them again yesterday, I was like, I'm totally on Farrah's side here. Yeah. I
think originally I was on Farrah's side, and then once I heard more Reese's thing, I'm like, okay, but Farrah, like, calm down. But it's very, Which
usually means the answer is both.
Yeah.
Like, if you're able to flip, it's probably just, like, it makes sense from both sides that Farrah would be so hurt that everything's kept from her, and
she's very much like, you said no more lies.
Yes, which then he went back on that a few times and kept things from her. So now this is a big thing that he kept from her. So I imagine that's like,
and I think
really
just
hurtful.
Everyone else knowing on top of it, just made it.
But
so
then Reese explains, like, you were getting married to Tamlin. So, like, yeah, that kind of makes sense, right? If even though that person is your mate, they're getting married to someone else. You clearly have seen them in love with someone else. Fight and do what she did under the mountain partially for him. It's like, what am I going to do? Say that you're my mate and then you don't believe me, or you're just mad at me, or like, and then I get rejected, probably. I'm just...
Once he fully explains himself, I do understand it.
Yes, yeah.
And we'll get there, but...
Anyway, she doesn't want to hear it, and because she's healed him, they have enough strength to go back to the Illyrian camp, and she just kind of leaves him there. So we get into chapter 51, which is basically she's just like, more, take me away, and she goes to the cabin.
But do you want to know what the most exciting part about this chapter is?
What?
It's so exciting.
You like cabins?
No. I don't know how page 49 Moore talks about the cabin. And she says, Reese used to...
Okay, so you like cabins?
Just kidding. Sorry. And I didn't notice it the first time I read it, and then I was listening to the audiobook this week, and I was like, oh my god. So Moore's explaining, like, the cabin or whatever, and then she's like, Reese used to smuggle in books and booze for me.
Does it say that?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Right? We secretly knew.
Do you think that there's people out there that thought that we got that title from the book and now they're like, wow, you guys are dummy dum-dums. How did you not?
No, because it's such a small little part, and like this chapter, even like what we have for, like, it's not, and it's in between such big things. I don't really think many people, maybe some people, I don't know.
Wow.
But how exciting is that?
That's very exciting.
When I heard it, I was so mad I couldn't text you. I was smiling driving. I was like, oh my god. It's like books and booze. And she says booze.
Yes. Uses the proper term.
That's right.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, books and booze in a cabin. That is the ultimate vacay.
Really?
And in the winter? I mean, I know the summer folks out there who like don't experience life with winter.
Yes.
I don't know that they'd appreciate this. I know as I obviously like summer and going places hot is really nice, but I think maybe as I get older too, like a winter wonderland scenery when it's like super cold outside and you come inside and it's cozy. Nice and toasty, but it's I've
been getting mad actually because
it's
light out so late right now, and I'm like, I just want to put my fake fireplace on the TV and just put my fake candles on, have my tea, and not be like, and I want it to be dark out. And
then when that goes away, you're gonna be mad though.
I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, so she wants to be alone, which makes sense. That's usually what I do when I'm mad.
Yeah, you did that as a child as well.
Don't speak to me.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a cabin to go to.
No, you just went to your bed.
Yeah. Oh, we also get into part 3, House of Mist.
Right, yes, I did.
Now that we have the 3 parts, I'm going to be real honest. I don't know that I fully understand these titles and why they are here.
No, same.
So, House of Beasts, House of Wind, then House of Mist.
Okay, what was the first one?
House of Beasts. Like, is that referencing Tamlin?
Oh, maybe.
House of Wind, okay, we know what House of Wind is. But House of Mist. Do we remember what that is?
No. Also something we might have to Google later.
Well, we're now in the House of Mist, people.
The last portion.
Chapter 52. Favorite, I call it like the come down. When you're like really emotional at something and you're like, no.
I'm gonna punish you with silence.
And then you have your alone time and you're like, okay, maybe they have a point.
I just thought she's like, I'm gonna have a bath. Now I'm in all this cozy clothing.
Mm-hmm. Well, this house, the cabin sounds really nice. It's magic.
Yes, which is great. Okay, the weird thing
Makes
was...
your bed.
This literally has nothing to do with, like, the plot or anything, but when they describe walking in, and it says, oh, the kitchen was on the right, and then this was on the... And I was like, no. In my mind...
Oh, I know, I don't... Yeah.
I always had the kitchen on the left.
Yeah, no, me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes me feel better. When I read that, I was like, what? It's on the right?
Yeah, I
like,
just ignored that part.
Yeah, I was like, in my mind, it's always been on the left. Just really need to get that out.
Do you have layouts that you repeat? Because I noticed this because I just finished Bride, and her bedroom in the book, I was like, oh my god, I'm imagining the same bedroom as in Blood and Ash.
Oh, no, I didn't. Hers. Oh, it's kind of a little bit similar.
I'm not saying you did that the same, but do you have the same like architectural layout sometimes? Like I just noticed that sometimes I just put the bed in the same place or like the window. I was like, oh, this reminds me of the Poppy's room in Blood and Ash that I imagined.
No, now I'm just like comparing those two rooms in my head, but no.
I didn't mean specifically those rooms, but
yeah, I probably do. But now I'm just thinking of those two bedrooms, and no, they were different. They faced different windows. I don't know why.
But it might mean the lack of creativity in my mind, where I'm just like, even when I try to fix it, I just like keep picturing the same thing. Just those two books, though. Maybe I'll see a pattern later. I'll update you.
Now I'm like gonna just be paying attention to how I picture bedrooms.
Do it. I want to know if you do the same thing.
So yeah, she's kind of realizing, okay, like I understand.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I should have let him hear him out. Maybe I shouldn't have just like thrown the dirt and the flowers at him and yelled at him and then ran away. Maybe I shouldn't have done that since I told him I would never do that to him.
Yes. So she like regrets walking away, but then like doesn't do anything about it.
She's not ready.
I know, but I was also
she needs to fully form her thoughts still.
Yeah, but I was like, but then I was annoyed at that. I didn't like that. Because then, like, Moore does come back, and then she doesn't say, tell Reese to come. She still lets him,
she's not ready.
I know, but it's like
because even when the chapters go on, she continues to form her opinion and still reflect on things, right?
Yeah, I just felt like she took a little longer.
You just wanted them to get together.
Yeah. Just stop taking your sweet-ass time, Farrah. We all know what's going to happen.
So as she's walking around and checking out this cozy cabin, she's thinking of the inner circle using the cabin. And so I noted that she said it felt like family. The one I never quite had never dared to really hope for, had stopped expecting when I'd grown used to the space and formality of living in a manor, to being a symbol for a broken people, a high priestess's golden idol and puppet. So just basically, like, these vibes are very different from the vibes that I had at the manor house that didn't feel like family. It felt like, like cold, or like obligation, or this is different. Regal. Distant, yes. I would say.
Yes, very distant.
Disconnected.
Yeah.
So that was really nice. And then she's what?
She finds paint.
Yes, finds the paint. Okay. I don't know if you all
have a little sip for this. Oh, you didn't want to sip the sake?
I keep getting big chunks of raspberry. I don't know if you all have seen like the real or meme, and I'm sure like people have duplicated it, but there's one with Rachel from Friends where
What's the Friends references?
There's where she walks in, she's like, oh, I don't know. She says like, I love it, or like she says something like that, and it's referencing like Moore walking in when Farrah has painted the whole house. Right, and it's like a bit, it's like sarcastic, like
just the description.
Oh.
It's beautiful.
You painted. Okay.
Every surface.
Oh, you painted the walls of my house without my permission. I see.
No.
That's it's an interesting choice.
Are those eyes?
Oh, those are eyes on my wall? Okay.
It's a choice.
Oh, you drew some flowers.
My hair, she has Moore's hair around a window, trees and flames, Illyrian wings on the hearth. It just sounds like a big acid trip.
She better be a good-ass painter, I swear.
I picture it very Monet-like, the artist.
I know who the artist is.
Okay.
I know what you're referencing, but I don't have enough idea of what that actually means.
So, not like abstract, but...
Colorful?
Well, clearly it's, colorful. But just not like super realistic, but still like beautifully done.
Still, the gall. The gall.
Well, just be like, I hope they're okay with this.
Did she even think that?
I don't know. So she says, I hope you don't mind. I believe she does actually say that.
What would you say to me if you just came into your house one day and I had painted a mural on your wall?
I would give you paint to probably paint over it. Unless it ended up being really good and I liked it. Honestly, I wouldn't be too mad. If it was like, you know what, you needed to get that out, that's cool.
Look, the difference here, though, is that they have powers. They could probably...
Just...
The house could probably wipe it clean. So maybe that's why she's not too concerned.
Also, so they talk about the eyes.
Yeah.
It's Amaran's eyes, and Moore's like, why is Amaran looking at me? And then she wants her eyes up there. So she starts doing that, ends up doing all the eyes. But I'm just impressed for her memory of everyone's eyes, because she, like, describes, like, the coloring in each person's. I'm like, I don't even know my eye color that well. Mm-hmm. Like, I was, like, trying to think of people. I was like, I couldn't tell you. I could be like, they have blue eyes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's half a point for Farah, then.
Yeah.
What would you paint?
If I was going to paint a cabin, or if I was Farah?
If you were Farah.
I did like the Illyrian wing thing.
Okay.
On the hearth. I did like that.
The hearth?
The hearth.
Oh yeah, we get the fun story about Reese and the boys and how they go to the cabin every year. Isn't that so cute?
I love them. I love their friendship.
I just thought about them drinking beer-garitas.
Yes.
Which I know they're probably not drinking beer-garitas.
Hey, Cassian, I think, would love a beer-garita.
I think so. Yeah, I think he would take the time to squeeze the limes.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
So yeah, I think that's what they're doing.
Okay, fine. They're drinking beer-garitas. They're having a sauna. Yep. They're going naked sledding.
Oh my god, yes.
And they're playing cards. Yeah. That's what I thought of.
Yeah, same. Oh, I would love that to be in a painting.
Naked sledding?
No, them naked, sitting around a table with their wings out, playing cards, drinking beer-garitas.
I feel like maybe they put their underpants on when they're playing cards. I don't know if they're sitting around playing cards naked. That might be weird.
Well, that's fine.
Putting
they can have
bare genitals on the chairs.
They could have pants or underwear boxers on, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. She kind of gets the story from more. I mean, I wrote down, I don't know why I don't find this, I find this uninteresting. I do find this uninteresting.
What?
Just the part about, her just talking about Az.
Oh yeah, I didn't even write anything down about that.
Okay. He feels like he's unworthy.
Yeah, which I feel like you kind of get.
And then at some point she says, like later, like maybe Reese felt the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't feel like that was like a huge...
But I was like, we get it. Az is sad.
Mm-hmm. Not all the time. He's just really hard on himself.
I just don't know that there's like much to milk from that story. I like Az, and I want to hear more about his story, but I'm also like, I feel like we get it.
There's nothing
new
more information. To say. Yeah.
Okay. So chapter 53, I did write annoyed.
Yes, you sure did.
I was listening to the audio part of it, and I just heard her drowning on, and for some reason, it might have just been my mood. I was like, oh, hey, we get it.
I'm just looking at your comments right now.
But she wants, she's realizing that she wants a future with Reese.
Well, just the fact that she can see a future is like, yay for you.
And that's maybe where I turned the corner a little bit. I was like, okay, how could I look at this with like kinder eyes? Which is that her dreams are so small when she, just wanted paints. She's like, I just want paints and maybe like a meal.
Yeah. And I'll be good for life.
Right? And I think that's true with, like, a lot of people's experiences. And I think I've felt this way at some points where you're, like, your dreams are so small and you don't even realize they're so small. And then other things happen in your life. You're like, oh, I could have been thinking big the whole time, but I didn't have the sight to see it.
Yeah. So now she is dreaming bigger. She's thinking of opening up an art thing. And
Reese will pay for it. Yeah.
Love that. But has more than like one thought on the future, like has all these different future plans, which is, I think, great.
There's options.
Yeah.
One of which is for Reese to fly over the meadow and chase her across the little streams, which is a quote.
And then feeding her berries.
Fat berries, it says. It's feeding your fat berries.
That part, I was like,
would you like your spouse to chase you through little streams?
God, no. I'd be like, leave me alone. I don't want to run through a stream or through a field. Maybe feeding me berries I wouldn't be mad at.
Can you imagine Eddie chasing me through a stream?
That's what I wanted. Literally, that's what I thought of asking the first time I read it. He would. But he would be like, I'm a wolf, and he'd probably have a knife and a mask on. I thought he'd think he was funny.
Yeah.
He likes scary, like, horror movie things, just as a reference.
Yeah, I know.
He doesn't actually do that. Like, well, yeah.
Now my daughter does.
Yeah. Not with a knife, though.
Did I tell you the other day, he said when I took the dog for a walk, did I tell you this? And she looked to him and said, hey, we should go hide and outside and scare mommy when she's walking the dog. So she's caught on.
Yeah, she has. Great idea, Franco.
But she says it did not seem so listless, so empty anymore because she's having these future dreams. And I thought, yeah, like Tamlin's was pretty boring.
Yeah.
Like, it.
Well, and she was so confined too, so she couldn't really dream of doing anything but like getting through the day.
Yeah, like there's more to life. Like being surrounded by beautiful things at Tamlin's, like that's not enough.
No.
Which is why probably a lot of rich people are sad.
That's right. Like you need those like actual healthy, good friendships, relationships.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing because then those people will also uplift you and you learn from each other and then you grow from that and then you're like, oh, I also love doing this and now I can do this with that and
where you can like be yourself with people.
Yeah.
Whereas with Tamlin and not just with Tamlin, it was with him, but with everyone there's kind of this like mask or this performance that you have to put on and with Reese and the inner circle she doesn't have to do that.
Yeah. Even I felt like with Lucian she didn't really have to as much.
Right. Like he was their relationship was a little bit better for
and she would like when she was angry she would show it to him more. Like she showed more of her emotions I think to Lucian than she did with Tamlin.
Yeah.
Tamlin was very much of this is what I want and I kind of just do the things I'm supposed to do but not really being her.
Yep.
So
she spends 5 more days painting.
Right? I was like, still makes him wait 5 more days.
Every room. Can you imagine? What are you doing in the other rooms?
What are
you doing?
Okay, so one day we're gonna make our hotel with different rooms based on not just this. I don't know. Anyways, one room I want someone.
There's gonna be one suite where it's like
the cabin.
It's the cabin and Farah's unhinged paintings in every room.
And I want to see like what a really good artist
could do with that.
Yeah, and I still feel like it would be like an acid trip though, because there's like flames on the wall. And...
Well, if you're gonna go for it, go for it.
Yo, yeah.
Okay, now we're gonna get to the good stuff.
Chapter 54. Don't. No, this isn't really okay. No, I got ahead of myself.
Bow chicka bow. Maybe that.
Yeah, but
or is that the next chapter? Sorry,
that's why I got too excited. And no.
So I called it Reese shows up to grab some soup, and the story.
I like that. And that's what happens, guys. Let's get to the next chapter.
So Reese says, "You painted us," and she says, "I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind."
Right. Also, he says he couldn't use magic to get there. So I was like, did he hike there?
He flew.
Oh, he did. Okay.
That's not magic. That's his wings.
Oh, okay. I was like, did this man just hike and you're just gonna like pass that over? But I do love that it was like, okay, no more games, no more back and forth. We're getting right to it.
Yeah, she's acknowledging that they have been using that for a really long time. So let's just finally be honest with each other.
Yeah.
And so she offers to heat him soup.
But I do love how he's like, you'd make me food?
Yeah. It's so simple. Why wouldn't she make you food?
Yeah. Like, obviously, she doesn't realize that, like, what it means. Yeah, but just, like, the way, like, he's like, oh, my God, you're going to make me food?
And then I kind of judged Farah because I was like, Farah, you can't make a sandwich? Like, you can't. But she also can skin an animal, so I think...
Yeah, I can't do that.
I'll let it go. Yeah. I'll let it go.
She knows how to do that. I think probably, like, roast it over the fire. She didn't have lots of food to learn different culinary skills.
If you can hunt and skin an animal, you don't have to learn to cook. Other people can do it. That's enough skill. But the food means that she accepts the bond, so it is a bigger deal than just like, yeah, I'm heating up some soup.
Make your mate soup. You're accepting the bond.
Not soup, but food.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be soup. Everybody gets chicken noodle soup. And then, yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm gonna do.
she basically asked him to say the story.
Yeah, it's like, tell me your story.
How did we get here?
Yes, but she's like, tell me your story, and then I'll decide if I'm going to give you the soup.
You're gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, like, we all know what's gonna happen.
But we learn a lot of cool stuff here. And like,
so
not that
much.
I want to go through all the details, but I love a lot of these details.
Yes, I read it, and then I was listening to it, and I almost started crying near, like, the end of it. I was like, this is just, like, so beautiful. I just love it. Okay. You start.
Like
you
the first part, I was just thinking, like, okay, he just told a big story about explaining his hate for Amarantha, like why there was so much animosity is not strong enough, but there was a lot of reasons why he felt so strongly about defeating Amarantha.
Yes, there was more of a history there.
And I guess the reason that he said that was just like trying to explain why. Like why the place he was in when he started to have those dreams about Feyre.
Yes.
Like here's where I was at. Like I was pretty hopeless and defeated. Yeah. And then I started to have these dreams about you, which is pretty cool.
You think someone's dreaming about me?
Yes.
Thank you. Right answer.
The dreams were him seeing things through her eyes.
It's just like that whole first book. It's just a whole different perspective on it.
And he said it was like super blurry though, like unclear. So it wasn't like he was like falling around in her head, but he would get like dreams of like her different experiences. So it's good.
Oh my god, so I think I saved it. I can't remember what her name was on TikTok. It shared this. So she reads a part from ACOTAR, and it's Feyre when she's having a nightmare. So she's at Tamlin's and she's having a nightmare about killing. Oh my god, I keep forgetting his name and I feel awful.
The Naga?
No.
Oh, Andrus.
Yes. It's a nightmare about that. And she mentions how she felt like a dark shadow or saw a dark shadow or something. And then I think it's mentioned again. But that was Rhys in her dreams. Like she...
Oh.
And I was like, oh. I never caught on to that. And we just read the first one. And I do kind of remember like that being said in 2 dream descriptions. Where something about, felt or saw a dark shadow. So that was like him in her dream.
It's really sweet. Yeah. And then of course we already know the dresser thing with the painting.
Yes.
Where he said that he sent a thought back of a beautiful night sky, which gave her the push to paint the night sky because she had mentioned like I never was out at night. I was too tired. I went to sleep. So why did I draw the night sky? Yeah. And so we learned that he had some input in that, kind of. He probably didn't really know what he was doing,
he says, like, I don't know if that person ever got it or whatever. And then obviously him finding that out, then he knows.
Yeah, and then he started to kind of put together that she maybe was this unknown person that he kept dreaming about was in Prythian and then in the Spring Court. And that led us to that situation where they met for the first time.
Oh, my God. Okay, hang on. Okay, so their first meeting... Calamai. So
had he smelt her and then found her?
I do have that he smelt her. But so he saw a vision again because he was trying to figure out.
He saw the fires.
Yes. Yeah. But they were clearer. And he had seen a couple dreams before that where everything was clear. So he knew, you must be over the wall because there's not like this fog anymore. Right. But yes, saw the fires. So made an excuse to Amarantha to get out for Calamai. And then, yes, he could smell her, saw her with those picks, I think. Then that's what he says. There you are. I've been looking for you. Because he really had been looking for her. It wasn't just a line. Yes. And thank you for finding her for me.
But the reason that he tried to leave and didn't, like, figure out who she was and do all of that is... she was important to him, and he didn't really know why, but he knew in knowing Amarantha that was a risk to connect himself to anyone.
Yes, and she had also brought him so much light and hope. Yeah. And just him being able to see her in those dreams and everything.
So to keep her safe, he knew that he needed to make space, like not... go. And that was also we get the sort of explanation of when he had said, don't think Feyre that it had not cost me. Yes. When he said that under the mountain.
Yes, for going there. I also like at this point, she does say, I had the vague feeling of the world slipping out from under my feet. Like him saying all this. And I was just like, same.
Totally
first time reading this, I was like, what? And so that's why that line is just, I want it tattooed on my forehead. Oh, and then when he did try to leave and he was like, it was like, you couldn't let go of me either. Like you you called after me. Love it.
And she didn't know why then either.
Yeah.
But he didn't know that she was with Tamlin, so that's what we realized when he finally came to the house to intimidate Tamlin. That was when he found out that she was with him, that she was in love with him, and oh my god, that must have been devastating.
Right? And even when he mentions like letting her walk away the first time, he's like, the cauldron had been kind, letting him see her just once, a gift for what he was enduring. It was like just like that small thing of her just seeing, and he was just like, that's good. I'm good with just seeing her once. Like, and she's still human at this point, guys.
Yeah.
Just pointing that out again.
And then we get to understand his perspective about Claire Boudoir.
Okay, I can't remember if we mentioned this or I just thought it, but for someone who literally dies in the beginning,
She gets mentioned a lot.
so much.
Yeah.
Like, she is still a big part of this.
She's famous in this house.
Yeah, I hope she's getting royalties.
But Reese explains, like, I didn't know you were giving me a fake name. I wanted to know what your name was just so I could have that small piece, but I didn't know that was a fake name. And then when I realized it was, and it was a real person, I made sure that Claire didn't feel any pain.
Yeah, so she knew to, like, scream when she should.
And so...
Imagine finding out, like you're with person you hate the most. Like, Amarantha, then Tamlin.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just... That's
the person that killed your mother,
sister.
Well, I guess Tamlin's dad did that, but killed his dad is the person
and betrayed you.
That this person that I don't know if he knew it was his mate, but this person that is the person that she's in love with.
Yeah,
that's nuts. And then she shows up under the mountain, and he's like, "Come on!"
Well, cause, so he also mentions how when he came to the spring court, and he's like, I realized how you guys felt for each other, so I tried to scare you. Like, and go into your mind so that Tamlin would send you away and you would be safe.
But, I mean, a credit to his good attitude, he was like, okay, you're here now, so this might be a chance to free us. So he wasn't like a Tamlin where he's just like, okay, I guess, like, we're all gonna die now and this is the end of the world. Like, Reese is the coach, right? That's where, like, the coach came out, and I felt that in his explanation here.
Yes. And I like that, you know what, he was just like, decides to fight.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we're doing this.
So we learn that, I mean, we already mentioned this a little bit, like when did he know that she was his mate? He says here's when she was dying, when Amarantha was killing her, and then she died, and then he pulled her back to life. Because
they have that bond. So he was like, yes, holding on. And, oh God, what he says... Yeah, he was... They always say, my mate, my mate, my mate, like 3 times in the book. It's like a pattern. And just, he was very much, if you were going to die, I was going to die with you. She snapped her neck, and I felt you die. I'm just like, oh.
You actually drew crying faces.
Yes. Yeah, I did. Just really needed to remember how sad I was reading that part. He's like, this beautiful, wonderful thing. I'm like... Beautiful, wonderful thing.
Sad and beautiful moment that we didn't really understand back then.
But so he was tugging. So she felt this tug. That was him.
Yeah, she didn't know that back then.
Yeah. And I can't remember if this is in the later ones or but when she talked to the bone carver and said it was like home, but it was Reese. Like, Reese, do you know what I mean? She just said, I felt like I was going home, and then, but it's Reese.
It was Reese.
Reese is her home. Oh my God.
And so he says that he almost told her under the mountain when he summoned her that last time before he disappeared, that he was going to tell her then, but then decided not to.
Also that he was the one who went to the High Lord's mines and said, we're doing this to, like, bring her back.
We didn't know that, right? Yeah, he was the one who went into their minds and convinced them all to give the seed.
And he was like, I would have forced them to do it if they said no, but they all were, I think, in shock and just willingly did it. Guys, if you haven't reread this, just reread the first book, even.
Yeah, you look at it way differently, but I feel like I didn't even pick up on everything reading it again, but maybe that was because there was so much time in between and I forgot things.
Or I'm almost like, I could go back now and reread the first one quickly.
So, and then he just, obviously, the journey of, like, trying to convince himself to stay away, to try and be respectful, because, you know, Tamlin wasn't, and we learned, because we had talked about this before, about why did he keep the bond, and it was unclear.
Yes.
Right? Because it's like, okay, you're trying to be this good guy now, or you've unveiled that you are not this mean guy, and then Feyre is asking you to do it, but then you decide to keep the bond where she has to, not the bond, but the deal where she has to come there for a week. And so we learned that he was going to break it, but then he heard her suffering at the wedding and decided, no, I'm going to follow up on this.
Yes, him and Cassian were supposed to go get drunk that day. that was his plan.
Knowing that it was going to be her wedding day.
Yes. And still knowing that that's your mate. And he was still like, no.
Imagine you're in love with someone and then it's their wedding day. What would you do? I guess the same thing.
Go get drunk?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, 100%. Like, I'm going to go get drunk and cry.
Yeah.
Everybody, please come join me. Maybe just one person.
Everybody hold me.
We're all going to hold me and rock me.
Take turns holding me. And then dancing. And then we'll take a break to go dance.
Yeah, we'll get a real high going.
Yeah, and then we'll...
Fuck him!
We'll do a shot and then I'll go cry.
Yeah.
You guys will hold me again.
Yeah.
Bathroom break, dancing.
Yeah, it's going to be a real fun night.
We'll take a nap, get back up, do it again.
That's right.
Okay.
I love how he just like flew back and told Moore right away, which I just love. He has not seen Moore in 50 years.
Right, that too.
It's just
the first thing
hey,
he
Moore.
says.
Just first thing says, she's my mate.
She's my mate. And she's like, what? I'm having breakfast.
You're alive. You're back. What's been going on? But yeah, I love that. And I just was like, just the selflessness that must have took.
Oh, I would not have the willpower.
Right? And like when he walked in and her and Tamlin were kissing, like he references that.
Oh no.
And then seeing her just get so thin and he's just like, no, this is where she wants to be. This is her
choice.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, that I think for me that brings us to the end where she said, like, is there anything you want to add before that last line?
I just like, it was kind of just referencing what we're talking about. He's like, I didn't want you to think that everything I did was to win you, just to keep my lands safe, but I couldn't stop being around you and loving you and wanting you. I still can't stay away. Oh, guys, that's what everyone wants to hear. But like not in a stalkerish way.
Be desperately in love with me. Move mountains for me.
You need to convince me.
Have big long speeches where you declare your love.
Right. And then I love she just walks over and says, you love me?
And Reese nodded.
Then eat. He gets the soup, guys.
Yummy, yummy leftover soup.
But I actually always think, because I just think of like vegetable soup or something and nice and warm. And so we put soup in the photo today and it smelled really good.
Okay, this brings us to Bow Chicka Bow Wow, chapter 55.
I love yous, except as a mate. Sexy time.
And the queen's reply. So he finishes the soup and he says...
He's crying and I'm crying.
Okay, is there a back and forth here? Do you want to be Reese or Feyre?
Oh, okay, I'll be Reese. Aren't you going to say anything?
I was going to tell you what I decided the moment I saw you on the threshold.
And now?
And now, I want you to know, Rhysand, that I love you. I want you to know... His lips trembled and brushed away the tear that escaped down his cheek. I want you to know that I am broken and healing, but every piece of my heart belongs to you, and I am honored to be your mate. I love you, and I'd endure every second of it over again so I could find you. And if war comes, we'll face it together. I won't let them take me from you. I won't let them take you from me either.
I'm just crying. Rhys looked up, his face gleaming with tears. He went still as I leaned in, kissing away one tear, then the other, as he had once kissed away mine.
You're mine.
Oh, guys. I loved that part where she kissed away his tears. And it's just...
She should have licked it.
Right? That would have been great.
That would have been a first full circle moment.
I love that part. And so I'm like, table time.
Okay, I didn't write anything for the sex part, because, like, what am I going to say?
Okay, well... So I love, he paints like an arrow down her body. I just love how they're now on the dining table with paint. It's like, this is great.
I told Jamie that for the picture today, she should have painted her whole body in paint and then laid down on the table and then made me put the drink on top of her body and then taken the picture.
Yeah.
But that would have been pornographic material for the internet.
I mean,
and it would have made our relationship weird.
A body's a body. It's fine.
The body is a wonderland.
That's right. So then he knelt on those stars and mountains, inked on his knees. He would bow for no one and nothing but his mate, his equal. That is right. So I loved that. Just want me to continue with all my notes?
Yeah.
You have nothing? Okay. And I do love that he had promised to splay her on a table, like his own personal feast.
He did that.
And he followed up and he did it. Like, I can't believe we don't have anything. This was also sweet. Shook my friend through many dangers, my lover who had healed my broken and weary soul, my mate who had waited for me against all hope despite all odds. Isn't that nice? And then there's scents merge, you guys. And then Reese, I don't know how to say this in a nice way. He finishes and the mountains tremble and the snow comes. Can you imagine?
It's a lot.
Right? So they talk about, it's like, I think
I fell in love with you the moment I realized you were cleaving bones to make a trap for the Midgard worm. Or maybe the moment you flipped me off for mocking you. It reminded me so much of Cassian. For the first time in decades, I wanted to laugh.
she goes, you fell in love with me because I reminded you of your friend?
I fell in love with you, smartass, because you were one of us, because you weren't afraid of me, and you decided to end your spectacular victory by throwing that piece of bone at Amarantha like a javelin. I felt Cassian's spirit beside me in that moment, and I could have sworn I heard him say, if you don't marry her, you stupid prick, I will.
I absolutely adore that part so much.
Yeah.
And now I love that part even more of the book. Because that was so like, yeah, Farah.
Oh, and then the other part we should mention is that she was glowing. Like, that was pretty cool.
Right? And then I was like, oh my god, Starlight, which is like a whole other thing.
Oh, yeah.
Which I never...
This is from the Day Court High Lord, which I don't know if... Does he get to glow? I assume so.
The Daylord? Daylord, oh my god.
The Day... His name better be Gaylord.
Right?
Gaylord the Daylord. They also have this chat about like just why they're so horny. Like they cannot stop touching each other.
Yes.
And so Reese just reassures her like that's the mating bond. Like we are going to be like this. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
And the men can go a little cuckoo. Mm-hmm. They will fight other people. They will kill other people. They will if they feel threatened. So it will take some time for that to lighten up.
And they also reference children.
Yeah, which you're moving a little fast.
Yeah.
You're moving a little fast, guys.
She's like, well, aren't I expected to have your children? I was like, oh, Farah.
You are 20 years old.
Right?
Just hold off.
Yeah. And I do like right away, he's like, you're not expected to do anything.
Yeah.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Yes. And then she does say like, I'm happy doing that. Just that. Like we don't have to have children.
He was happy with seeing her on Callan Mai.
Yeah. He was good with that.
So I think he's fine.
Yeah. Which I really just think should be every male's response. So
yeah.
Take note to all our male listeners.
Don't take advice from females in fantasy books. Okay, but that's it.
No, do take advice from male.
Sometimes.
How this conversation, he handled it very well.
Okay,
so this reference, yes. Casting call.
You should join a choir.
Thank you.
Okay, so I just have one that I was thinking about that I had a long time ago, and then I saw her face again. I was like, oh, so Emma McKay, also from Sex Education.
Oh my god.
But I'm guessing you haven't watched Sex Education.
No, which I did.
But she's in other movies because she got more popular after Sex Education, I think.
Okay.
She kind of looks like Margot Robbie, though.
What's her
people
name?
think. I think she does. Is she... she was in Sex Education.
No, who are you casting her as?
Oh, as Amren. And you might not understand this unless you've seen Sex Education, though. So I don't know that this is too exciting for you.
No, it's not, because I like my Amren choice. But I do like her bone structure. She has
I like her
bone structure.
But I think in terms of like the vibes that Zoe Kravitz gives,
yeah,
she's
like
reminds
similar
me of that. So you know what? When you watch that show,
yeah,
we're gonna loop back and you're gonna give me your opinion then.
Okay.
Because then we're gonna have a clear opinion. Right now we got nothing.
No.
Moving on.
No, I have some recasts as well.
Oh well, you were gonna skip it, so I just assumed that you didn't.
I forgot. So my Alice is Kirby Howell.
I have no idea who that is. She looks familiar.
She is in like a bunch of stuff, I feel like. Why Women Kill. Great show.
I didn't watch that.
Sugar, Queen Pins, The Sandman. I believe she was also, oh my god, the Kristen Bell TV show with Ted Danson. She was in that.
Okay, maybe that's where I recognize her from.
I mainly remember her from like What Women... Oh, Killing Eve. Oh, The Good Place. So yes, she was in The Good Place.
Okay. Yeah.
She was his like girlfriend. Anyways, that's my recast for Alice.
Cool. That's a good choice.
Thank you.
MVP.
MVP.
You go first.
Oh, damn it. For a person, I am choosing Rysand. I mean, there's not really...
For a person?
I really want to give it to the cabin.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right?
I mean, we've done it before.
The cabin was like, yeah.
That was a really cool cabin. It was a magic cabin.
Yeah, it is a magic cabin. It just gives you things like when they were like, oh, we need a bath. It was just full. And then it had like the soaps, which we didn't even discuss.
Yeah.
And
my favorite is it cleans up after you.
Yeah. And then they went to go back to bed, which had been covered in paint.
Yeah.
And there's just new sheets. You know what? And after Farrah completely redid it, the cabin still was like, you know what? I'm still going to help you out. And it just gives you food. And
it sounds great.
It's a really monumental place for their relationship in these books. Also want to mention, for the drink, my name is up in the air.
What?
You know how we're supposed to name the drink?
Yeah.
We didn't discuss it.
Up in the... What are you talking about?
Because it could be the cabin, right?
What could be the cabin? Oh, the drink.
The name of
cabin.
the drink, yeah.
Yep.
Or it could be my mate, or mate, or I just want to call it Chapter 54.
Okay. I thought you were saying let's name it Up in the Air. And so that way I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, this has gone too far, Jamie. You have too much creative freedom here. Now it's just nonsense.
Really just focusing on the things that don't matter.
You're just being so abstract. The reason... So I think it should be called Chapter 54 only because we are spoiler free, and so we want to try and be the least spoilery as we can. So when we share the title, that seems like the least spoilery.
Yeah, and I just really like it. That was my first choice anyway, so I'm glad you said that.
I like it.
Yeah, MVP Cabin and Florissant for being
honorable
vulnerable.
mention. He was really great. I just loved his tears.
Right, and then he was just
like
how it's
relief.
Described, and yes, his sigh of relief when like she let him in.
I almost want to give it to him actually.
And him also just like the I can't even say the word anymore.
Selflessness?
Yes. Just hearing like that whole story and just learning from when it started with Amarantha and what he went through with her. And we didn't even really touch on the Amarantha stuff.
No, but it's
dark, and I'm just like, I just want to give you a hug. And
okay, I'll pick Rhysand then.
Okay. I mean, you don't have to.
But honorable mention to Moore for her reaction to the cabin. Because
also
good on you, girl. You are a kind-hearted soul.
Yeah.
To not walk into your family's cabin and lose your shit on Farrah.
I don't feel like I would. I'd be like, oh.
I would. I mean, I wouldn't like scream and yell and like, get the fuck. I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, what? If it were you, I'd be like, what the fuck do you think you're doing to my walls?
I 100% wouldn't do it to your cabin. Jared.
Because you would know that you would get my wrath.
Yeah. And Jared would be like, Jared, just let me explain.
Just wait.
Yeah. I'm going through a lot right now.
And then you go, oh, Jamie.
The cabin will fix it. It's okay.
Christine would get mad at me, so I did your house.
Yeah. You'll understand. It looks cute, right? These flames on the wall.
Oh, yeah. He likes flames. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, well, that's that. And now that they're mates, let's see what happens. What's next?
Yeah, it's
Save
a whole
the world? Maybe. I don't know.
More sex in different places?
Maybe.
Yeah. Also. Yeah.
We have different priorities. Okay, bye.
Bye.